Yo, what's good, family? Welcome to another episode of Row Lamb Live. This is the show where I talk to creators and creatives about creativity, about life, about how it's all connected. And tonight, I have a great guest, Dr. Sheena Howard. Doc, how you feeling?
Hi, I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy that you are here. It's
Yes, this
always
is
great.
awesome.
We just talked about this. This is our first time actually having like a real conversation. I feel like
Yes,
we message all the time when we're talking about
yes,
stuff happening in the culture and social
yes,
media. But it's just great chopping it with you. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, exactly.
Um, so before we get to our conversation about Dr. Sheena and her work and everything that she's doing for the culture, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you're here right now, please share this with somebody, subscribe to the channel. Um, and I just appreciate you for being here. Um, with that being said, Doc, I want to ask you the question that I love to ask all the creators when they come on here. What
Mhm.
is inspiring you right now? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What's getting the creative juices going for you?
Well, right now, um, I'm gonna go back and read Mumbo Jumbo by Ishmael Reed. I was just watching an interview with him, like an old interview, and I never saw an interview of him. I've read Mumbo Jumbo, his book, but I never saw an interview of him speaking. Very deep, very deep thinker. And so I'm gonna go back and read Mumbo Jumbo, and I think it's already inspiring something in me to write something within the same kind of lens and framework that he wrote that book. Yeah.
Now you say it's Mumbo Jumbo by who?
Mumbo Jumbo,
Ishmael.
his name is Ishmael Reed.
Okay.
I think you
Okay.
would like it. You
Yeah,
actually
I've never
know
heard of
you would
this.
like it because, it's deep and it's for the culture,
Okay.
but it ties in voodoo. He was deep into studying voodoo.
Okay. Okay.
He
Have we talked about this? Have we talked
no,
about Okay, okay, okay.
no, but he breaks it down historically and how, voodoo was demonized because of its origins in Haiti, and Western society demonized it so that we could, you know, follow their religion, Christianity, and voodoo would the whole premise of the book is this thing is happening in black culture called Jesgru. It's called Jesgru. And
Mhm.
it's inflicting black people, making them joyous, making them dance, making them be more awake. And
Expressive.
the the wallflower order, I think it's the wallflower order, is trying to suppress it and stop it, but they can't because it's actually not written down. It's just in us and it's contagious. Yeah, you would like this book. You would
I
like this
gotta
book.
write. I gotta write this down. I gotta write
Yeah,
this down.
it has like a
What
cult following. It's one of those kind of books.
What's interesting about you saying that is I've been reading this book called Mules and Men by
Okay.
Zora Neale Hurston,
Okay.
and I did not know that she was a folklorist. Did you know that?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So she actually went to the South and just basically compiled all these folkloric, like Negro folklore tales. And so this book is like a compilation of all those tales, right?
Mm.
And then there's a whole section on hoodoo. And I've been looking into like what hoodoo is
Yeah.
and because one of the things, and I talked about this on the show a little bit, one of the things that I've been very curious about is I think about African Americans and I think about one of the questions I ask is what mythology do we pull from?
Come
So
on now.
if you think
Now,
about
Ronald,
like
you going down a very slippery path. Okay.
we gotta do it. We gotta do it. But
Don't be
but
out here
that's why
getting me canceled. Don't be.
but that's why I said, did we talk about this? Because I've been thinking super deep on this. Like I've been like going ham on this. I didn't remember talking to you about it, and you're bringing this up, and I'm like,
No, we never
oh,
talked about it.
yeah.
Listen, a lot of these it's like the second coincidence type thing that's happened to me this week, so something is coming together. I don't think it's a coincidence, uh, that this topic came up.
Wait, Doc, offline, we have to talk about this. I feel like you cooking something right now, and we gotta talk about this. We have to. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
But for real though, read Mumbo if you really thinking along those lines, you gotta read this book. Um, and it's a short book. It's probably more considered a novella. So you can read. I know you like to read.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big reader. I know if you're a writer, you're supposed to love to read. I'm not a big reader. So
What you
that
mean
book
you're not a big reader? What you
no, I
mean by
don't
that?
I read out of necessity. I read to learn and to be smarter, not for pleasure.
What? Doc,
Yeah.
we definitely never talked about this.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Oh,
But I be seeing the writers online. You can't be a good writer if you don't read a lot. I
I
read.
don't necessarily. So I don't believe that you can't be a good writer without reading a lot.
That's what they say though.
That is what they say. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but I think it's interesting that because you got your you got your PhD, but I
Yeah,
guess you
it's
just
all
said you
reading.
like to,
I
huh?
read for necessity.
Right, 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 right.
To learn something. Not I read to learn something, not for joy and pleasure. If I try to pick up a fiction book and just read
That's
it to
crazy.
enjoy it, I'm gonna fall asleep. Or I just get so distracted. I read the first page, something in the book will say something, and I'll just start thinking a whole my mind will just go off. They probably got this is probably called something. So I read well, you know this about me. I read a lot of nonfiction because it teaches
Yeah.
you something. And I read a lot of memoirs because it's teaching me something, what not to do, what mixed but fiction, like I don't read like sci-fi and fiction, and that's why.
I I now remember you saying that, but
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
that's the reason why. Because
Oh
I don't
wow.
read for pleasure.
Yo, Doc, that's well, first let's answer this question. What's the
Uh,
name of the book? The name of the book is Mumbo Jumbo
Mumbo jumbo.
by huh?
Ishmael Reed.
Yeah, Mumbo Jumbo by Ishmael Reed. Yep.
And I think they did a reprint of it, like within the last few years.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out. So another question that I like to ask is, how do you personally define creativity?
Oh, how do I define creative expression?
Okay.
A form of expression. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what creativity is to me.
That's it. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with it. So I love asking that question because everybody who's answered that question has all said different things. And so,
Really? What's
yeah,
some of the
everybody.
other answers that stood out to you?
Well, so like for me, and the person who Erica Janae was on my show, she's a songwriter. She was on my show last week, and she had
Mhm.
the same answer as me. I
What's that?
think my definition of creativity is problem solving. I think creativity
Oh.
is you have a problem and you find
Mhm.
a way to connect two things that may not go together, right? So
Yeah.
I need to do this. I'm not quite sure how to get there. I don't have the usual tools that would just get me there. So I need to figure out a different way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. That's
But I don't
very
think
logical.
it's
What
very
if you're not
logical.
trying to solve a problem though?
Well, so the thing is, the problem doesn't actually have to be a problem, right? It could just be the problem could be, how do I express myself in this moment? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay, yeah.
So I don't think any of the answers are wrong. I
Right,
just think, the way people view it, it influences how they approach. You know what I'm saying? So like when
right.
I'm working on a story and I'm like, oh, I don't know what this character wants. Well,
Now
now
you gotta be
my
creative,
problem
yeah.
is right. My problem is I don't know what they want. So now I need to figure out some ways to fix that. You know what I'm
What you
saying?
just said is where a lot of my book ideas die. I'll have a great idea and they'll be like, "Well, what's the character supposed to be doing? I don't know. Next
Uh,
idea." I'll be stuck. Like I'm like, "Dang, it was such a good concept, but there's no story here. There's no story."
nah, you don't give up. You gotta find it. You gotta find it.
Yo.
No, but
Wait,
I,
if I connect it's a link that says connect YouTube. If I do that, is that
Yeah,
gonna mess up the stream?
I do
Should I
not
do it
think
while
it
I'm
will.
on here?
I don't think it will. I think it'll connect to yours.
Alright.
You want to try it? We could try it.
Yeah, I clicked it. Let me see. I
We
mean,
might be right back, y'all.
I logged back in if it get we
We might be right back.
This is called building in real time. This is what it's about.
Creativity, problem solving. I
Y'all
told
stay
you.
in
I
the chat.
told
I
you.
wanted to answer her question.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, we in there. Got my
Wait,
little
you answered the
I can
question?
chat now because
Oh,
I connected my
perfect.
it opened up a lot of features up in here.
Uh-oh. Doc about to go crazy. What you about to do, Doc?
No, it gave me a referral link. All right. I'm good.
Cool.
I'm focused.
All right, good enough. It's all good. That's the thing. When you have people on here, most people I have on here, I haven't talked to a lot. But
Right.
I've talked to a lot. So it just feels like we
Right.
just chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm forgetting I have actual questions I'm supposed to be asking you. But
Right, exactly.
So can you give us your origin story, like from? Well, I'll let you decide how to frame that. But how did you get into writing? How did you get into all the things that you're into? Like, what is your, if you were a superhero, what would be your origin story? I knew you should have read these questions when I sent it. I knew you should have read these questions.
Because it can start so many places depending on the context of the question.
I know. That's what I was thinking. When I wrote it down, I was like, she's not going to know where to start. She's not going to know where to.
But what's coming to me, though, is childhood. Like, I've always been my own person. Like, my family used to say, like, she moves to her own beat. And I never really, I don't wanna say I didn't fit in because I played sports, so that made me fit in, but I'm not a part of a group person because I just be thinking too differently than everybody else, which is a good thing when it comes to creativity and new ideas, because you are always creating something that other people would not have thought of.
Right.
But in terms of like socialization and people, I'm just like a lone wolf, which is not a bad thing because I also like that because like all I do is talk for a living. I talk for a living. I'm always talking. Like I'm a professor. I'm talking now. I'm always talking. So like when I'm done, I just want to be by myself because I literally talk all day. So I think to answer your question, I think my origin story is really just being a person that doesn't fit in neatly anywhere and just leaning into that and using that as my superpower.
Yeah. So where did you find your, well, you love writing, right? You enjoy writing?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, but yeah. I love it because it's a form of expression, yeah.
So where did you find that? Where did that come into play?
That has always been my preferred way to communicate, is writing. Because when I was younger, I felt like when you write something and you give it to somebody, you don't have to argue with them. Just go read. Here's my thoughts. Go read it, and I don't have to be in a debate with you. Just read this first, because then you're not going to interrupt me. We don't have to go back and forth about it. And writing, I liked writing because it gave me time to think about what I wanted to say. And I remember when I got to grad school, one of my professors said writing is like the highest version of yourself. He was like, your writing should never be trash because it's the highest version of yourself. He's like, anything you turn in shouldn't be trash because you had time to write it, think about it, edit it, backspace, write it again. And that resonated with me because, like, yes, like you have time to think about what you're writing. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Y'all are too funny. The chemistry is off the chart. So real, no imitation, no fake it, just you. I love it. Almost forgot this was a podcast. It feels like I watch it. Thank you so much.
Yes, Grandma.
I appreciate you for sure.
Yes.
I almost forgot this was a podcast as well. We all good though. We keeping it pushing. You feel me? No, but I definitely feel that. I remember when I was a kid, I got in trouble for something. I don't remember what it was now. I did something. And my dad was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to write apology letters to everybody. And so instead of like going around talking to people, we just wrote apology letters. And I was like, oh,
It's
you know what I'm
better.
saying? It's
It's
crazy.
better than actually having to say it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think sometimes people think that could feel like the easy way out for some people. But
Yeah.
for me, it never felt like the easy way out. It felt like I really gotta sit and I really gotta think about what it is I'm saying right now
Yep.
because I'm writing it down. So there's no
Yep.
excuse for like, oh, well, I didn't mean that. No, you
Yep.
wrote this down and you handed it to me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yo, that's yes. I feel you on that.
yeah. So let me ask you this. I was watching one of your interviews.
Mhm.
What interview was this?
And I'm listening. I'm just getting my charger.
Yeah, do your thing. Do your thing. It was, I can't remember which interview it was. But one of the things you said, you were talking about your academic branding book.
Oh yeah.
And one of the reasons you said you do that work helping academics learn how to brand themselves and sell, their services, if you will,
Hmm.
was you said that you wanted to get to do all the fun little silly things that you always wanted to do, right? And so you wanted to be creative and you wanted to do your thing, right? Even
Hmm.
though you were academic. And so I just wondered, when you say those silly things, what were those silly things that you always wanted to do? And are you doing them now? How are you doing them now?
Yeah, I did it. That's how you get a dissertation on the Boondocks, because I wasn't supposed to do
Okay.
that. It wasn't cool, and people were like, "What is she trying to do?" But to me, writing a research paper was a creative process more than an academic
Mm,
one. Right? Of course, it was an academic one because there's certain sections you have to have in a research paper at the graduate level, but
for
those
sure.
things are just technicalities. I thought about all of my research as a creative process,
Yeah.
which helped me. It made me produce a lot more than my peers because I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm having fun and being creative. Y'all are following these rigid, just these rigid boxes.
Right.
Same thing when I wrote for Marvel Comics, like all the stuff I did with that short story I wrote for Marvel. I am not stuck in a box, right?
Mm,
I think outside the box.
mm.
And because I don't read a lot for pleasure, I am not my mind is not clouded with what other people already have done.
Come on. Talk to him, Doc.
And so I'm able to think outside the box because I don't have a predefined way of doing things a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I really haven't given a great picture of who we're talking to right now because Dr. Sheena Howard is, I mean, I'm trying to think of where I should start on the accolades, right? You're the first black person to win a Eisner, correct?
Mhm. Versus Black woman.
Black woman. Okay.
Mhm, mhm,
Crazy. All right. Written for Marvel.
mhm.
You wrote for DC
Yeah, a bunch of times.
a bunch of times. Talk to him. Lion Forge, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is somebody who, like, you are, like, respectfully, like, Dr. Sheena is a dog. Like when she talks about how she got, yeah, talk to her. When she talks about how she got these opportunities, they didn't just fall out the sky. You know what I'm
Nope.
saying? Like, she made these things, right? And I remember when I first encountered you on Instagram, you was telling this story about, was it somebody in your PhD program made a statement about
Yeah,
you making their,
yeah. My existence in the program devalues her degree. That's what she
yeah,
told me.
that's crazy. So somebody like yourself who has that mentality, how did you navigate that when you heard that?
Um, well, first I was shocked because I'm sure everybody can relate to just being in a situation where somebody says something so off the wall that you didn't expect it. And a lot of times you can't react in that moment because you're in your head, you're like, did they just say that? Or you're processing. So I was just processing. I looked around because I was embarrassed when she first said it because
Mm.
she
She said it in front of people?
no, yeah, it was other people there. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then she bragged about it after. So it was humiliating. So it's like, if you're walking up the street and you trip and you look around to see if anybody saw, right? Because you don't want to be embarrassed. That's kind of how it was. So I didn't. respond to her because what do you say to that? I left
Mm.
and I was mentioning I was mentioning it to a friend, like telling somebody I know, like, hey, this is what she
This
said.
just happened to me, right?
Yeah. And my friend at the time was like, yeah, she said it, and like it is what it is. But it didn't it's one of those things you process over time. Like years
Mm.
later. It's just one of those things like because this is like 20 years later now. Because I started my
Mm.
PhD when I was 23. So it's
Yeah.
almost 20 years later, but it's one of those things that you don't forget.
Mm.
I'm just grateful that I could use her in content to make viral videos, and I'm sure she's seen it. And
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But that
man.
story shows my resilience in exactly what we've been talking about here, that I've just always been not in everybody's box, and no matter where I go, I'm gonna make somebody uncomfortable, not because I'm doing anything, just because of who I am. And this was at Howard, y'all. This was a black woman. When I share that story, a
Oh
lot of people
man.
assume it's a white person.
I
This was a
definitely thought it
black
was a white
woman
person.
at Howard University. So this is not even about race per se, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Um, so you used to play basketball, correct?
Yep.
So one question I had was, what principles, if any, did you take from playing sports that have helped you in your creative and writing career?
Almost everything. Like, these some good questions, yo. If y'all got a podcast, y'all need to take notes, okay? Because this man did his research and he's actually asking good questions. Oh my goodness.
Appreciate you, Doc.
Um, almost everything. Almost everything. Like,
Wow.
because I played D1 basketball, so this is a next level. Like, this is serious.
Yeah.
This is one step before professional. So it was serious. Like, no
Right.
time for excuses. You got teammates with all different types of personalities. You
Right.
got egos. You got coaches yelling at you. You got everything that you're gonna experience in life when you play sports,
Mm-hmm.
especially at a high level. I broke my wrist 3 times. I got a pin in it. So injury,
Wow.
coming back from an injury, red shirt and coming back to the team, everything. So I'm competitive.
Mm.
Like I'm trying to
We
beat
can
y'all.
see it. We can see
I'm
it.
gonna be I'm gonna be friends with y'all. I'm gonna give y'all advice, but I'm trying to beat y'all, yo. I'm trying to beat y'all. Uh, and for me as an athlete, I always just used to try to be better than myself. Every day, how can I get a little
Mm.
bit better? How can I practice on the things I'm weak in?
Yeah.
And that's just those are life lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can see the competitiveness. We can see the fire. Like I said, I'm telling y'all, Doc is a dog. I'm trying to tell y'all. Um, so let me ask you this. What are your thoughts around turning a passion into a career, right? And the
Mm,
reason why I'm asking that is because I think I'll speak for myself. Like one of the biggest lessons that I've had to learn is there's a difference between writing as a hobby and like then writing like as a career or like as a way that's like, okay, this is gonna make money. This is my livelihood. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So what are some thoughts or some tips that you have around like doing that, turning that passion into a career?
Um, if you really want to turn your passion into a career, you have to learn business. You have
Mm.
to learn sales. You have to learn digital marketing. You have to learn community building. You have to learn all the things that a business owner would learn. And I see all the conversations on the writers threads that drive me crazy. But I see a lot of people, they want to be big time writers. They want all the deals. They want to sell books. They want more people to buy their books. Um but it's not happening for them because they're not doing the business part. If you want to sell books, you got to learn how to run a business.
Yeah.
Sales psychology, messaging, all of that stuff. So I would just say, like, if you want to monetize your thing and you're serious about it, it's not just about your skill of writing or creating or doing music. You have to learn business.
And just to add on to that, because I agree with you. In order to sell books, you got to know the business side, right? But
Yeah.
it's also possible you could like one time, like you could sell a lot of books,
Yeah.
But if you don't know the business, then you're not gonna know what to do with the money
Exactly.
that comes in with those books.
Either way,
And
you're
then
gonna get screwed. So
either way,
let's say you self-publish your book, it takes off. But now you have no business principles. You don't know about reinvesting the money back into your business. All that money from your book proceeds are going into your personal account. If it's going into your personal account, you ain't running a business. That's why, right? Now you don't have an accountant, so your stuff is not set up. You're not paying sales tax on all of them purchases, right? So now you screwed. So
and it's a process that we have to learn.
it's a
And I
process.
and I
Exactly.
think that um sometimes we don't always want to do the work that it takes to learn it. And that's the difference between I'm doing this
Sometimes.
for fun and I love this and I'm trying to make this my livelihood. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I think some people that message is not getting through. They just are it's just not.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
don't want it. They don't want to, it's an uncomfortable truth, I think, because when you're creative, you're an artist. A lot of us don't want to do the business side. We don't want to do the business side, right? But you got
yeah,
to do it.
I think the message gets through, but I think the problem is we look at people like Jay-Z or, like we just go down a list of like Kanye, right? We go down a list of these people who we don't see the business side, right? We just see, oh, they
If
just
you listen
create.
to Jay-Z's music, you haven't heard the business side.
Right, right. But the thing
If
is,
you watch Kanye's documentary, you saw how hard he had to work.
right. But what I'm saying is that people don't always see that side of it. And so you just
Yeah.
see like the creative, like I just go in the studio and I make this music. I remember when I was doing music,
Mhm.
I would record all these songs and they would be like, hey, the easy part is to make the music, right? Like that's the easy part. Like, cool, you made some music, but we still got like a lot of other stuff we got to do.
Yeah, but
And I'm
that's what
like,
I'm
oh,
saying. I think when you say people don't see the business side, I think they do, but I think they just conveniently ignore it because they wanna believe that it's just gonna be this one is they gonna put something out and then boom, it's gonna pop.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean when I say you look at somebody like Jigga and you say, oh, well, he just put some music out. He did. It's like, nah. First of all, Jigga had the money to have a certain team around
A
him.
whole label.
Oh, right. So
Like
like, and then you got people like Dame Dash and Clark Kent, right? These are people who was around him who could do certain things.
right.
So it's like even if you don't want to do certain things, you got to have people around you that can do and is willing to do certain things. Like
Yeah, yeah, but that's
things
where
got to
running
get
a
done.
business, right? You outsourcing, you got other people out here in the world doing stuff for you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it takes. I'm still learning these lessons, right?
Oh,
I'm still
yeah.
learning how to like my last con that I did. I sold a bunch of books, and I was like, "Yo, this is great." Then I was like, "You know
Yeah.
what? I probably need to really think about how I'm allocating this money." Oh wait,
Yeah.
it's like okay, we need to really. And when I started to do that and get organized and really like, I'm like, oh, this is how this is really supposed to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, and so it's just a process that people have to go through, but it can be a painful process. You know what I'm
Yes, it
saying?
is. It's hard, man. I made mistakes. Yeah.
You ain't made no mistakes, Doc. Come on, Doc.
Yeah, of course. That's how you learn. Unfortunately, some of them you just have to learn the hard way, unfortunately.
Yeah. But what I appreciate about you, Doc, is that one thing about you is you're gonna keep moving, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna keep posting on social media, you're gonna keep doing it, you're gonna be consistent. And I think
Oh, yeah.
consistency and effort covers a lot of problems. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes, 'cause
Um,
I'm not giving up.
right, right. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, so you and I have this conversation sometimes, and um you'll
Oh,
talk
boy, don't get me in trouble now. Come on now.
you'll talk about I told you to read these questions. I told you.
I see him. I
Um
got him up here.
no, you'll talk about how you're not where you want to be, right? Like you're like, look, I'm trying to go here, I'm trying to do
Not
this.
so
Like
far away. I'm so
I'm
far away.
so far away. And I'm looking at you like, but Doc, like you killing the game out here.
I
Like, what do
know.
you
That's
like?
I
You
know.
are her. What's up? Like, what are you talking about?
I'm so far away.
But I just want you to talk a little bit about how you balance um being appreciative of where you are while also understanding that I got so far to go.
I don't.
I knew you was gonna say that. When I wrote the question, I was like, she's gonna be like, I don't balance it. I have a long way to go. I
No,
knew you was
I
gonna
have
say
to.
that.
Okay, so I got, where is it? Right here, actually, because I do try, y'all. It's a gratitude journal. I keep it next to my bed because I have to remind myself, like,
Yeah,
yo, where you are right now is where you were like praying to be like 5 years ago. But
yeah,
it's not natural. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I got so far to go up this hill.
yeah.
So I do, this really does help, this 5 minute gratitude journal, because it makes me stop and think for 5 minutes once a day at least to write down
Yeah.
um what's going right. But no, I focus a lot on the things I didn't get, the stuff that didn't work out, where I want to be, how I'm so far away. Yeah, I just do. I just accepted that about myself because I it's not going to change.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. And I do want to say I also think that's something that's admirable. These words are killing me today. That's something that I admire about you as well, is that, and I think I've told you this before, like you stay hungry. Like
Yeah.
you're going to keep shooting for the highest bar possible.
Yes.
And I think in order to be great, we got to have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I do wonder, because I think sometimes the advice that we would give other people, we don't always give ourselves. And so
Yeah.
I wonder if you was having a conversation with somebody who you have seen come a long way, but they were constantly saying, "Oh, I still got so far to go." What advice would you tell? What would you say to them?
I would remind them of all the things they've accomplished, because I got a couple friends that are just like me, so I have to
Yeah,
do this for them.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, I definitely I remind them, like, "You've done X, Y, and Z," just pouring into them, reminding them, because I have one particular friend, we've been friends for, like, 20 years. She's
yeah,
done so much. Um, and yeah, I just pouring into them,
yeah, yeah.
reminding them of what they
You buy
done.
them their own gratitude journal. Hey,
Yeah,
just fill this out.
yeah. Yeah, but for me, like, if y'all could see the top of my wall, like, I have a lot of my awards on the wall,
Yeah,
because I read a book one time and it was like, create a space in your office or your house where you just frame everything, like,
mm,
everything, and put it on the wall, and they were like, keep it in one space in your house or your office where it just reminds you of everything you've accomplished. So I do have my stuff up here. That's part of helping me remember all the stuff I've done. But that stuff is old. I gotta do new stuff.
yeah, yeah. Talk to him. Talk to him. So how has motherhood impacted your creativity?
My creative well, it's impacted my life.
For sure, for sure.
It made me serious about business. See,
Mm,
before my son, I would create and fund things out of my pocket, be passionate, let me just get it done. I don't need nobody to give me money, right? Because I could do that because you single, you don't have someone dependent on you.
right.
After my son, I'm like, y'all gotta no, I don't do speaking engagements for $500, $1,000. No, the rate is $10,000 plus. It it
Damn.
it it helped me see, but I needed that. If I
Yeah.
didn't have a son, I'll probably still be out here getting on planes for $1,000 because you're only feeding yourself. It's like
Right. Right.
when you have a kid, you have a real need for money. Money becomes really important. When you by yourself, it's kind of like
Yeah. You
I'm
can eat
good.
ramen.
Yeah, like I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say definitely the monetization part, which I'm grateful for, because I
Yeah.
needed that. I don't know how
Yeah.
else I would have got that push.
Yeah. So I think that's a great answer. I knew you was gonna give me a practical answer, but I also want to know how it's affected your creativity as well.
Oh, okay, okay, I got you. Actually, I would have never started writing, like, kids books and middle grade books if I didn't
Mm,
have a kid, because I when he was little, I read to him a lot, and I would just be reading these books like, "This not what I want you to read." Like, I know exactly what I want you to read. It's not out here. I need to write it.
this is
Yeah.
fiction. I don't want you to read any fiction.
Well, even the fiction stuff, I'm like, "Yeah, nah, mommy would have just did it a little bit different. Like, this is actually the message I want you to get."
Right.
So
Right.
now I'm
Right.
working on a middle grade book, because he's 8, and
Mm,
these books take long to publish, y'all, when you dealing with these publishers, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm like, if I start a middle grade book now, hopefully by the time he's finished middle school, the book will be published. That's how
Right.
long it take, y'all. It's hard
Yeah.
out here. Yeah, so I definitely would say it helped me branch out into new genres.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't
So
think I would have been as confident writing kids' books and middle grade books if I didn't have my own little focus group in the house.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, so I've seen like on Instagram, like you encouraging like your son's art and like you like reading to him and just doing certain like artistic things.
Mhm.
And so I wonder what are some practical things that you would say to ambitious parents who have kids as well, right? So like the
Mhm.
idea is like how do you make space to develop them and build them while at the same time knowing that you're building and trying to do your own thing as well?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, you gotta be first of all, you gotta be aware,
Mm,
right? I have to have very strict boundaries.
mm,
Like, when somebody wants me to do an interview or coaching, like, "Here's my schedule. This is my schedule." No, no, I don't have any more times on my schedule. That's the schedule because after
yeah,
5
yeah.
PM, I'm with my son. You
Oh,
got
thank
lucky. I
thank you
mean,
for being here. Thank you for
son is
being
out
here.
there. My son is out there right now waiting for me. Um, so
My bad, big dog. We
that's
almost done. We almost done.
having boundaries, yo,
Yeah.
is how you make time
Mm,
and make sure you spending that time and incorporating him in things too is fun. Like I ask him if I'm stuck on a book idea for a kid, your kids got the best answers. Any kid under like
mm,
12, you ask them, yo, I'm stuck on this part. How do you think how can I make this work? They'll give you good answers. They'll get you unstuck in your book concept if it's a kid's book.
they be
Um
solving problems, I'm telling
yes,
you.
yes. And we have a book together, so incorporating him into the process, telling him what I'm working on. I think
Mhm.
that's inspirational for your kids. I
Mm.
I do I think your kids like to see you going after your goals, yo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's true. So I have 4 sons, and my second son, he's like really into okay, all
It's a
right.
lot. I'm about to hit you with the Kevin Hart. Dang.
She said, "Damn, damn, that's crazy."
I'm tired
Oh
of
man.
it, man.
So
Whew.
yeah, so I got one of them is actually calling me right now. I don't know why
Mhm.
he's calling me because he knows what I'm
Right.
doing.
I
Because I'm
told him,
like,
like, "You gotta be quiet for an
come
hour."
on, big dog. Like, what you doing? You
They
feel
don't
me?
care.
Like, come on, man. Um,
Go
what you
go
need,
see
big
what he
dog? What
wants.
you need? I'm sorry. What you need?
Go ahead.
I think he left. I think he left. I think we good. Hopefully he's good. I'll check on him in a minute.
Right.
But he's like into writing and creating comic books and doing his
Yes.
thing. And so I find him like, when he saw my comic books and he saw what I'm working on, he's like, "Oh, daddy, this is really cool." And like, "Oh, how can I?" And I'm like, "Yo,"
Yes.
like, but I'm like excited for that. But I'm also like, I gotta figure out how to like make space and time to explain some of the things that I know about this to you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I don't know. I'm just trying to find that balance.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, I be
that's
telling my son everything.
but okay. But my question though is what when you
Your
say you
kids be
tell
giving
them,
the best advice because they not tainted and they very practical and it's very emotionless advice.
but when you say you tell them everything, what you mean by that?
Like like sometimes I might be have a decision to make and I'll just ask them like a creative
Oh,
decision or like something in the industry or like
you talking about what you're working on.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And they get
Yeah.
very non-emotional responses. What you need?
But I'm talking about when he's working on something. And,
Oh,
and
oh,
so then I'm like, well, we probably need to learn some story structure,
oh,
bro.
yeah. No,
But
I
then
try
I'm
not to
like,
'cause that be scaring them away. That
that's
be
what I'm
they don't yeah,
saying.
don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That I just let him do his thing. I don't try to teach him. Because
Mm,
I know he's learning through our conversations, but when he got all these books that he wrote. My son has written a ton of comics. I don't critique it, and I don't say I don't really tell him I just let him
okay.
go.
Here's my dilemma though. So my son is the same way. He's writing comics. He's put like using like, line paper and like putting them together. And I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
So then we go to like a family event and he's like, showing everybody. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Then he's like, I'm gonna start selling these.
Oh, that's good.
I'm like, that's good, but I'm also like, okay, but if we're gonna sell them, do we need to
How old is
you
he?
you asking the good questions now. He's 10.
All right, so my son is gonna be 9 this month, so similar. So when I did my book with my son, the book that we actually published on Amazon, I explained to him the difference. The books that you write at home, fun, boom. But this book that we're gonna put on Amazon, it requires a certain set of X, Y, and Z. So we
Mm,
did talk about beginning, middle, and end. Your book has to have a lesson. It has to be in a certain format. And then I took him to coffee shops and I was like, okay, now the book is out. You got to go talk to these people and sell your book. Go up to that stranger. We did all of that. We did all of that. We went to the grocery store because his books were in 12 grocery stores in Philly. We went to the stores, go talk to these customers. So it's a different.
come
So
on,
so like if
come
he
on.
I would help him take one project to the next level, get it self-published, right? I got an artist off of Fiverr.com. That's how we did it. And that's a separate conversation.
Right, right, right,
That's
right.
when like, all right, you want to take it serious, this is what you have to do.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
so that's what I was thinking. And then I was just like, but how I don't know. That's why I asked that question about that space for
But
like,
you should take so if there's a comic that he's hype about that he did, yeah, get it published for him because it was such a great experience for my son.
yeah,
Like his school bought his book.
wow.
My nephew had his book had my son's book at his school. They were reading it. Like so my son really he saw the fruits of his labor. He was interviewed on the news here. Like so yeah, it was distributed in 12 grocery stores. I think that really left an
Yeah,
impression on him, yo.
absolutely.
'Cause then now you could take him to your cons and he could sit at the table with his books. Now he's learning to communicate, talk to people. This is gonna be the biggest thing. Can you talk to people?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. What's good, Javon? Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here, man. Yeah, no, that's great advice. I'm definitely, which is what I was thinking of doing anyway. I think it's just, I'm like, how deep do we want to go with this with him? You know what I'm saying? And
Let
so I
him
think,
lead though.
like you said,
Like ask him, like say
yeah,
one of your comics that you wrote, what's your favorite one? Would you like to have it on Amazon? Would you like to actually get it published? Would you like me to hire an artist?
yeah,
Um And just if they say no, then don't do it. But if they say yes, now y'all getting into the process. Cause like
yeah,
when my son was like one day I saw like he wasn't really trying to talk about his book anymore. And I was like, are you done? Like you done selling it? He was like, yeah, that was it. We
mm,
done. I never all right, cool. Like cool with me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that. um, okay, so now I want to switch gears just a little bit. And I definitely wanted to talk a little bit about um the Boondocks.
Ooh.
So, most times most times when we hear about people who enjoy comic books or they're into this, like they've been into comic books for like years, like since they were kids.
Mhm.
But I was watching one of your interviews and you
That ain't
said
me.
you
I
ain't
don't
grow
even
up on
read
comic books
comics
like
like
that.
that.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
See?
But
Yep.
it was the Boondocks comic strip that brought you into the fold, if you will.
Exactly.
What about the Boondocks drew you to? Well, what drew you to the Boondocks? Period. What did you love about the Boondocks?
You know, when it used to come out in the strip, it was commenting on real issues in real time, which I like because
Mm,
it was relevant. And then it was funny, it was smart, it was African American culture, right? It was black culture. So I was like, this is amazing. And then I'm like, how did this creator get this thing syndicated across the country? That I was fascinated. I wanted to know. Part of my dissertation was analyzing the Boondocks, but it also was me understanding how Aaron Magruder did what he did. It's not a small thing to go from a comic strip to an animated show, and you got people around the country, around the world reading this strip. That's
yeah.
not a small thing. I don't think people really understand how important
Mm,
like Like, and he didn't just wake up one day and then put out his strips and then it just took off. Like, it was a process, right?
Right.
He had multiple homes for it. He survived the gap, like how I talk about, right?
Yeah.
So the whole thing is just fascinating to me. The whole
Yeah.
thing about the Boondocks is fascinating to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so speaking of your dissertation, how did your scholarly and your academic work feed or influence or inform your comic book writing moving forward?
Yeah, so once I did the dissertation on the Boondocks, turned it into a book, it won the Eisner Award. That just when you win an Eisner Award, it just puts you on the map because
Right.
now then people started asking me to write comics.
Right.
So I didn't
Okay.
and if you're it's like, we have hip hop scholars, like, people that study hip hop. At
Right.
some point, you just gotta try your hand at trying to rap. It's just part of it's
Mhm.
like you just studying it and you're like, "I gotta try this." So same thing, like, I'm studying comics and I started to feel like, "Man, I'm studying comics from the outside, and I'm and I
Mm,
and I and I don't have inside knowledge." So
mm.
it kinda started to give me a little imposter syndrome studying it from an outsider. I was like, "I gotta really know what the issues are. I gotta
Right.
get in here and write." So that's what I would say, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, but even more so than that too, how did it influence the way you actually approached like the craft of writing a comic book?
Oh, I don't know because writing my dissertation and studying the Boondocks in the way I did, it's a leap to then be a creative writer because those
Yeah.
not the same 2 skills. They're very different, yo.
Right. Right.
I feel like when I started writing comics, yeah, I had to learn from the beginning like everyone else. I feel like very yeah, I don't the skills weren't that transferable in terms of, like, the creative writing from the academic writing transition. It
Yeah.
was a rough little transition.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I think the reason why I'm asking that
I
question.
think more so on think it helped me more so in thinking about representation, the
Right.
iconography of what you're putting out and how important it is. I understand probably better than a lot of people how important the stuff that you put out impacts people's minds, impacts the Black community, how people see us, how people talk about us, because 'cause I've
Yeah.
studied representation and how media affects our psyche.
Yeah.
It's not just like when you watch a show and you think you watching it passively, it is influencing how you think about people.
Yeah. 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 I think part of the reason why I think that's interesting, or I thought this question was interesting, because I think like you brought up hip hop. Um, or even I was listening to a guy who wrote from magazines, like video game magazines, and then he turned into a video game designer or like some type of he worked in video games somehow.
Mhm.
And I always think it's interesting when you go from critiquing a field to then having to be in that field, because as you spend time critiquing something, you may see certain holes, you may see certain things that's not there. And so now you
Yeah.
have the ability to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
okay, this what y'all haven't been doing.
Absence
This
of
is
women.
where
Yeah.
right.
Absence
This
of
is
Black
where we're
women.
gonna get
Speaking of
in.
Black women, the Boondocks is not friendly to Black women. Like,
Mm,
terrible.
yeah, yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
So is
And I
that one of
felt
the
that trend in Black comic strips is like absence. It's called the symbolic annihilation of women. That's what I call it in my dissertation.
mm,
But there's a trend there.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's why when I put together the encyclopedia of Black comics, half of the profiles are Black women because
yeah.
I'm
Wow.
like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I got one more question. We're gonna get ready to
sure.
get out of here. But I just wanted to hear what's next for you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I better be a household name out this joint. More more creative writing,
The
big 5
Philly came out on
publishers.
that joint.
Come on now, big 5 publishers, more creative writing,
Yeah.
tapping in more into the creative space in terms of what I put out, more kids books, middle grade, adult graphic novels. I want some adaptations, movie adaptations, Netflix, 5 years, all
We
that should
we
be
should
happening in 5 years.
we should have just
Listen,
said world domination.
yeah,
World
exactly,
domination.
yeah,
That's
that,
it.
world
That's
domination, world domination. Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. For sure. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to let anybody know about before we bounce?
At Dr. Sheena Howard, that's where you can find me on everything. And then Hip Hop and Comics, y'all. This joint is coming out, man, I think tomorrow. I mean, if you already
Oh,
it, it should be shipping tomorrow. But if you're not familiar, Hip Hop and Comics, go grab it on Amazon or wherever you buy books.
yo, that is dope. I wish you had told me that. I could have made sure people know about that for the show. But it's all good,
I haven't been plugging it hard. It's all good. This is part of my cultural canon. This is part of getting us into the academic literature, so we are cemented in the institution. Because that's what I've been
Yeah.
doing with all of my work, making sure we are being studied. Shout out to Cardi B, got a class at Howard University. That's what I'm trying to do for all of my cultural icons. Let's get them studied in the institution, because that's how they live on. Then it becomes required reading at the college level, and the more you talk about our greats, the more they live on. So that's
Yeah.
that's my place in the academic space.
Yeah. Well, Doc, I just want to say I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing for the culture. I appreciate you for what you're doing with the creatives and just all the resources that you offer on your Patreon, and just the gems, and just even our conversations, the way you encourage and share knowledge. I just appreciate you and everything you're doing. Like, when I say you a dog, I mean that for real. And
Thank you.
I look up to you. I admire you. And yeah, I'm just happy to chop it with you. I mean, I can talk to you all night, clearly.
I
I
know,
mean,
right?
we
We
could
about
just
to
chop
be
it. So,
we about to be in the IG DMs,
yeah,
and
you already know
the
what time it is.
conversation ain't
You know
over.
what
It's
time
over
it
for
is.
the public.
For sure. To everybody else, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Again, like this video, share it with somebody, subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all next week. I don't remember who my guest is next week. I'm drawing a blank on that, but I'll be back next week with a new guest, and I'll see y'all soon. As always, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you. As always, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.